The headline on the other major news story today, to which we intend to devote some time, is very simple. Hello, Dolly.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the animals that have played a significant role in shaping history as we know it.
To work really hard, to suffer, to push through it, and to succeed.
Number 10. The macaque that killed a king. There are some instances that seem insignificant at the moment, only to lead to huge consequences later on.
Two species of primates, macaques and humans, are spending a lot of time together. And like any close relationship, miscommunication can lead to conflict.
When King Alexander of Greece attempted to stop a fight between his dog and a Barbary macaque in 1920, he had no idea what was to come. During the fray, he had been bitten by another monkey twice, earning him 2 deep wounds in his leg and midsection.
Is a monkey bite always fatal, Doctor?
No.
What made it fatal this time?
Though the injuries were cleaned, they weren't sterilized. That night, an infection quickly spread through his body, and a failure to amputate the affected limb only made things worse. Within weeks, he passed away, bringing up questions about the monarchy and destabilizing the country's current political regime, ultimately leading to Greece losing the Greco-Turkish War and the deaths of hundreds of thousands.
20 miles of carts drawn by cows, bullocks, and muddy-flanked water buffalo, with exhausted, staggering men, women, and children, blankets over their heads, walking blindingly along in the rain beside their worldly goods. They are the last of the glory that was Greece.
Number 9. Tesla's Pigeon. Love truly comes in all forms. Though he was a famous inventor of his time, Nikola Tesla had another passion as well, caring for pigeons.
He was just so super duper off the chart smart.
Yeah.
That I think he had a tremendous difficulty in interacting with regular people.
He fed and cared for countless birds both at his place of residence and the local parks, but there was one that connected with him in particular. It was a white pigeon with multiple injuries, prompting him to spend thousands of dollars to help her heal.
A man who says he doesn't care about money can find himself tormented by the lack of it.
He grew an attachment to her, even remarking that she added meaning to his life and that he loved her the way a man loved a woman. When she inevitably passed away, he was deeply affected by the loss, even telling his biographer that his work had ended with her.
Do you remember my face when I realized it was hopeless between us? Or does everything get jumbled in your head?
Number 8. Cairo.
We were fortunate enough to participate in one of the biggest missions in history, but it was just like any other mission. It was just like any other night. Just who we were going after was different.
The tracking and eventual killing of Osama bin Laden is one of the most significant events of the 21st century, and it couldn't have been done without one furry friend in particular. During the raid, Cairo, a Belgian Malinois, was in charge of keeping an eye for anyone coming in or out of the building, along with looking for any hidden rooms that might have been inside.
We did sweeps of the perimeter. Once we felt the perimeter was secure, we moved our way to the inside, and we started with the first floor, second floor.
With the help of Cairo and his handler Will Chesney ensuring the perimeter was clear from bombs, the human members of SEAL Team 6 were able to eventually find bin Laden in the compound safely, and the rest is history. Though it wasn't Cairo's only mission, it was by far his most publicized, and cemented him as one of the most important pooches of the 21st century.
A lot of people would never guess that a dog can save your life. They can. He was a great dog. He deserves his story told.
Number 7. Smokey.
What if Smokey had fallen into somebody else's hands? She probably would just have been an ordinary dog, although we didn't start out to do anything spectacular at all.
Though it may seem that a breed as small as a Yorkie wouldn't be able to handle the horrors of battle, one in particular proved that size didn't have to be a limitation. After being found in New Guinea in 1944, Smokey was adopted by Corporal Bill Wynne, who kept her by his side for the remainder of World War II. She participated in a dozen missions and earned several awards and honors, and even aided in the building of a new airbase. However, her biggest contribution by far was providing emotional support for soldiers that had just been injured.
It really had a whole different effect than your average therapy dog would, because you're dealing directly with the with the realities of life as it is going to be, and that's a very steep change for people.
This coined her as the first known therapy dog, a position that's now held by countless others around the world today.
The story is so unusual, this little tiny creature doing so much. However, the size didn't mean anything because the ability of the dog to withstand all of the rigors of it was amazing.
Number 6, David Greybeard. Up until relatively recently, the idea of creatures using and crafting their own tools was essentially unheard of and rarely observed. In 1960, that all changed.
Louis Leakey sent me to Gombe because he believed that an understanding of chimpanzees in the wild would help him to better guess how our Stone Age ancestors may have behaved.
During a study in Tanzania, iconic primatologist Jane Goodall successfully earned the trust of one of the chimpanzees in the community, whom she dubbed David Greybeard. With his trust, she was able to observe him using various tools to hunt termites, even crafting his own from twigs.
A few days later, I watched, spellbound, as chimps set off to a termite mound, picked a small leafy twig, then stripped it of its leaves. That was object modification, the crude beginning of tool making.
Though it wasn't complex, it still proved they were more than capable of it. It completely changed the way humans viewed not only apes, but also our own differences from the animal kingdom, which were now confirmed to have been fewer than what we'd once thought.
I think that was the moment that I honestly knew that I would have to give my life to learning about these amazing relatives of ours.
Number 5, Jim. While many animal contributions to history have been positive, others led to disastrous consequences.
I come from poison. I have poison inside me, and I destroy everything I touch. That's my legacy.
Shortly after contracting tetanus in 1901, a horse named Jim was put to sleep. Following his death, his remains were used to create an antitoxin for diphtheria, a bacterial infection.
Fast forward to October 18th of 1901. That's when Mrs. Mary Keenan took all 4 of her children to the St. Louis City Hospital because 2 of them were incredibly sick. The 2 children were diagnosed with diphtheria and they were given the antitoxin. And, as was customary at the time, her other 2 children were given it as a preventative.
Unfortunately, the very disease that led to his euthanization was still present within the antibodies. The contamination, combined with a failure to test the product and the mislabeling of it, led to the passing of over a dozen minors. The incident was so severe that it led to the formation of the Food and Drug Administration in 1906, leading to medical regulations that are still in place today.
Theodore Roosevelt signed the Biologics Control Act, which required the licensure of biological products and manufacturing establishments. Then, 4 years later, Congress passed the Pure Food and Drugs Act of 1906. The law banned the adulteration and misbranding of food and drugs and established the consumer protection agency we know today as the FDA.
Number 4, Sherami. Throughout ancient times, carrier birds delivered messages during times of war, a practice that was still prominent during World War I. The United States even created a pigeon service, where Sherami rose to prominence.
I'm just what they're looking for, a pigeon with that something extra. You know, it's not a bloke's wingspan that counts, it's the size of his spirit.
In 1918, over 500 United States soldiers were trapped and on the receiving end of unending friendly fire. They sent out multiple pigeons to deliver a plea for help, but opposing forces shot them down. Soon, it was Sherami's turn to take flight.
And the message? Oh yes, sir. Safe and sound.
Good man.
Thank you, sir.
Right, lads, we have a message to deliver. Let's make wind!
Though he'd been hit, he completed his mission and saved the lives of nearly 200 men. He was hailed as a hero, which continued even after his passing in 1919. He's still honored today as a display in the Smithsonian Institution, where he's resided since 1921. Number 3, Balto. Sometimes the most underestimated creatures can still be the most impactful.
Let the half-dog run. It will be fun making him eat our snow.
Though Balto's assignment as co-leader during an important medicine run was criticized, he ended up being one of the most vital members of the team. He, alongside a whole host of sled dogs, were tasked with delivering an anti-diphtheria serum to a quarantined town in Alaska in the throes of winter.
Every hour, every minute counted.
Serumet måtte fraktes fra Anchorage, men jernbanen gikk bare til Nenana. Derfra var det 1000 kilometer frem til Nome gjennom noe av verdens mest ugjestmilde villmark.
Despite the extremely harsh weather and unsafe terrain, Balto led them through the final leg of the run with ease, even saving the team's life on one occasion. His efforts led to 300,000 units of the medicine to be delivered, saving countless lives. For the rest of his life, Balto was revered, even earning himself an honorary statue in Central Park.
What does it say?
Dedicated to the indomitable spirit of the sled dogs.
Number 2. Leica. Unfortunately, not every historically significant animal has been lucky enough to have a happy ending.
Please forgive us, said Russian biologist Adelia Kotovskaya as she wept and stroked Leica the dog before sending her off into space.
During the Cold War, a space race broke out between the United States and the Soviet Union. Following the success of their initial satellite Sputnik 1, the USSR decided to up the ante by proving that a living being could be sent to the stars and survive. They conducted this test with Leica, a stray dog that vigorously trained to handle the extreme conditions.
What happened to Leica? I expect they gave her a bone and a rub on the tummy when she got back.
Well, Leica unfortunately never made it back to Earth.
She was launched in 1957, where she survived for just a few hours before perishing. Though she didn't survive, her service helped bring about more successful tests that expanded the boundaries of space travel. To this day, her legacy lives on globally.
I hope that she is dancing every night among the stars. I hope Leica is alive.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Dolly.
She may not be the monster imagined in a science fiction fantasy, yet the cuddly Finn Dorset lamb may represent a major landmark in the history of genetic engineering.
As the first mammal to ever be cloned from an adult cell, she's also one of the most important scientific advancements in modern history. Dolly was created from a mammary gland, leading to a discovery that a whole organism could be formed from a single part of the donor's body.
The actual nuts and bolts of doing it is a little bit more complicated than that.
In fact, Ritchie had repeated the same delicate procedure over 400 times, and only one surviving embryo, number 6LL3, was carried to term by a surrogate mother.
After being born in 1996, she went on to have a successful life, birthing 6 lambs of her own and being used as a cell line for other replicated sheep. Her mere existence led to the continued cloning of other mammals, including those that had been considered extinct. Beyond that, she also inspired further stem cell research, which is now being investigated as treatments for certain diseases and conditions.
The ultimate, but still elusive goal is to use cloning technology to create healthy tissues which can be transplanted to heal damaged cells and organs.
Which animal do you think has had the largest historical impact? Let us know in the comments below.
Man the toolmaker is how we were defined. And here was David Greybeard using a tool.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.